Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another Brewery with me, Peter, the master of hoppets. Today, going back to Britain to try some classic British ale, again from Harveys. And this beer today is their Dark Mild. And funny enough, on my review of Sussex Best, Valiant wrote, you should try the Dark Mild if you can. Well, dude, I got the entire range that they produce to review that is somewhat in season. Two of them were kind of fall seasonal type beers, but we'll see. I got everything pretty much. Besides, I think I'm missing 4 or 5 seasonals from them, but I'll try and see if I can scavenge some of those when they get back in season, because I really want to try the Harvey's range, because there's a few of them I definitely haven't tried. There's also a lot of them I have tried, and I just kind of want to revisit the beers because I have fond memories of drinking them on cask when I was younger and getting into beer, because they were cask beers that were available at the wharf locally where I'm from, Aalborg. These days, we don't see too much around of this kind of beer. The wharf still exists, and they do once in a while get Harveys. They haven't had them for a while though. But we're trying it in the bottle today and finally reviewing some more on the channel. Some awesome classic English beer, because I've been dying to drink some English classic beer. So this is their Dark Mild. This is one of their more award-winning beers. It is a Dark Mild. As I say, it's malty and mellow with a soft and slightly sweet with a dry nutty aftertaste. The cask version is 3%. This is 2.8, and I'm guessing that could be because bottle variations, batch variation, who knows? But it's a very low strength beer, which is really cool. You don't see that much of low strength beer in craft beer unless it's like alcohol free. And there are some styles that are good that are lower strength, some table type beers and stuff like this. So they got a little description here about how Dark Mild was one of the most popular beers after the Second World War. It was about 75% of beer production in the UK, at least, I'm guessing. And their interpretation here is soft, slightly sweet with a dry aftertaste akin to an infusion of ground nuts. It's refreshing, hydrating, and comforting. Liquid bread in every sense. So this is like one of those almost dying styles. There's a few breweries that's keeping it alive, but it's not something you see around a lot. But I've actually recently reviewed one, which was from Omnipollo and New Barns, and it was on Nitro. It was pretty good. So this is going to be a much more classic example, I'm guessing. Also lower in ABV. So let's check it out. So Pour is a beautiful dark copper. Yeah, it's more than dark copper. It's like this mahogany brown color, actually. There is some rust orange tinges in the bottom of the glass. Pouring out, it had a nice frothy off-white head. It looks a little bit like the Danish Vidøl, actually, which is also a lower strength beer. But let's check out the aroma on this one and give a massive shout out to Gary for helping me get the Harvey's ales, and Harvey's for being kind enough to do a different mix box than they usually do, and also to the wharf for supplying Harvey's glass. Let's check out the aroma. Oh, that's very nutty. Surprisingly powerful aromatics on this one for 2.8% beer. Like toasted hazelnuts and brown bread and caramel and toffee. And there is a little bit of a plummy, figgy thing, like some dark fruits. Also marmalade, but it's more like a fig preserve. Like fig, what's it called? You can get like this fig preserves. It's not a marmalade, I think, that you often have with cheese. There's something like that to it. A little bit of a butterscotch toffee note in there as well. It smells really good. It smells super authentic. It smells so old money. Like it smells like a grandpa beer, really. Let's try it. And that's a good thing. Like, I'm not saying that negatively in any way, shape, or form. Like, who doesn't love like your grandparents cooking, for example? That's some of the best smelling things in the world. But yeah, this smells awesome. Let's try it. Cheers. It's so of course it's not going to be super rich. It's 2.8%, but it has a surprising high amount of flavor for its ABV. I've definitely had a lot of lower strength styles that have been a bit more lacking in that department, and attempts at making these really low strength beverages. This is pretty damn nice. It's really jammy too. Currants and preserves again, like currants, figs. It's like that fig. I was really figs, yeah, I think so. More than like other things. There's also a little bit of a wine gum thing. Bassett's wine gum, Bassett's all sorts, and lots of nuttiness. Like there's a lot of flavor. The only thing is like the mouthfeel is not like super rich, but it also shouldn't be. I mean, they talk about a mellow beer and a dry beer, and it's like it's mellow with some sweetness and dryness. It's actually quite well balanced for the style. And you have to like, this is not a beer style that's supposed to be super rich in mouth coating and whatnot. It's so jammy. I love that. There is also some notes here that reminds me of Vitur. Like this candied, sweet, bready maltiness. That's in here as well. Super refreshing. Really kind of nice, kind of after work pint. Maybe I would rather have something a bit more hoppy because I'm a hophead. Like, but this, like in the autumn or when it's cold summer's day, something like summer's evening. I mean, I could see myself drinking something like this. It's really good, but it's not like super like over the top, mind blowing, best like low strength beer I've ever had in terms of mild. I think I've also had a couple milds. But if you take traditional miles, that's the thing. I never drink miles because you never get to try them. They're never around besides if you're in the UK. Super hard to find. Can you think of a mile on the top of your head here, Peter? I mean, the mild with New Barns that Omnipod is probably a little bit better than this, I think. But that was also on nitro, and it had like, was it 5%? It's like definitely a little stronger. I think modern examples go up to 6. This is impressive for being that much lower in ABV in terms of both body and flavor. It feels just so quintessentially English. Like you can't, if you grew up on these kind of beers, you can't help but smile when you drink this. Like if you were introduced to these kind of styles when you're getting into beer, and this was like your baby steps in the beer world, like me, nostalgia plays a big role in me really enjoying this as well, and having it discovering it some of the first beer for me. But it's not just nostalgia. You can also taste, and especially with me having drunk a lot of beers and being a brewer and everything, you can taste that it's a really well made beer. There's not something here that sticks out to feel like wrong. The butterscotch notes, okay, that could be diacetyl, but in beers like this, they're often wanted. It's like what the brewer tries to get in there to have just a little bit of extra complexity. Like it's not loads. It's also quite fresh bottle. I think this was from February, and I'm shooting this in March. So it's just a soft nuance there. It could even just be a maltiness. And I drank half a pint in this video. Like that's the fun thing with these fucking Harvey's beers. Sorry for cursing, but I intend like, oh yeah, I should just have a little bit of it and then maybe share some with the missus or whatever. Like it's just like, boop, 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 boop. They are pintable beers, which is awesome. And then the ABVs, I love it. Like none of them are really that strong. The strongest is like of the like pint bottles is the Christmas ale, which is 7.5, and I think the Prince of Denmark it's a little bit stronger, it's around 8%. But otherwise, it's like 4 5s. Maybe there's a couple 6s, but it's low ABV stuff. Really nice with all those currant jammy notes, and maybe not jammy, but yeah, currants and Bassett's wine gums. I wonder if Bramling's Cross is in here. Bramling Cross often gives off like a little bit of a blackcurrant kind of currant jammy, currant berry note. And then the Bassett wine gums, the nuttiness, that kind of preserved figgy thing. There's definitely liquid breadiness. Yes, it's almost like a little bit on like marmalade on toast kind of vibes, a little bit. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on for the ABV. It's really nice. And it's actually also really growing on me the more I'm sipping on it. Like this is really good low strength beer. I want to bet that most new money people and most people who drink this will try to knock this a bit for being low ABV and soft. Like, this is an 80, 78. It's too light. 3.2. I'm definitely not going to go that low. This is a great mild. It's probably in the range of 88 to 90, probably even 90. I would love to drink this again and just down a pint. I mean, this is a historic beer that deserves to be around for a very long time still. So yeah, 88 to 90. I'll decide off camera. You'll see it in the description below what the grade will be when I'm done with this. But yeah, this is lovely. Harvey's Dark Mild. I wonder if it's double X Dark Mild. Maybe it is because it's XX. But yeah, this is awesome. Get some if you can. Thanks a ton to both Harvey's, The Wharf, and Gary for making this happen. And as always, comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I almost like cheers. I keep saying Twitter. It's so stupid. It's called X now. Do I still have an account? I just stopped saying it. Cheers, and see you guys in another beer review.